Hello and welcome back to SF, a Giants recap. And the Giants yesterday, they beat the Tigers 6-4 in the exhibition game. And that's what we're going to go over in today's recap. Make sure to subscribe and like if you do end up enjoying. But the Giants yesterday, Ramos, he came through. He had himself a great game, which is very comforting to see for the Giants. And also a good leadoff hitter. Proved himself that he was comfortable in that spot. Wade also does a lot better in lowering the lineup. It feels like he needs to see a lot more pitches and get kind of a concept of the zone because he's really good at taking walks if he kind of already has everything else figured out. So Ramos, I like him at the leadoff spot. And yesterday, 3 hits, 3 RBIs, a home run, a double, hitting the ball hard, going to left field and opposite field. A lot of power across the board. So you'll love to see stuff like that go well for the Giants. And then Patrick Bailey, he had a nice double that scored a couple runs, and that's mainly it for the Giants offense. Those two guys performed really well. Everyone else, solid here, there. Obviously, Bailey 2 hits, Ramos 3 hits. That's 5 hits combined and 5 RBIs between the two of them. So that's all the Giants really needed. And so that's the good part. You want to see a little bit more contribution from the Giants lineup as a whole. But overall, though, we only struck out 6 times. So the strikeouts were not a problem. It was just kind of getting hard contact. And that will come as the year goes on and as we start into the regular season. For the pitching side of today's game, Robbie Ray, he did solid. Not as well as he'd done in the past for the all spring training, but he did really well today. 5 innings, only allowed 4 hits, only 2 runs, 4 strikeouts. He did walk his first batter of spring, which I was going to see how long he could go with that, but ended it yesterday. And he did, unfortunately, allowed 2 home runs. So long ball was the main problem between his. He limited the amount of hits. His pitch count was good. He was efficient. Just the long ball. So I think that's what the Giants are going to focus on with him, is getting that location better, not leaving pitches up in the zone, and Riley Green really took advantage of that. Lou Torino, he pitched yesterday. He did really well getting a strikeout. Same with Spencer Bivens, who pitched an inning. Everyone yesterday, Tyler Rogers, all had solid outings, except for Eric Miller, who did allow 2 hits, 2 runs, and win an inning. So not great to see from our lefty, and who we're going to probably rely on a lot more than we think because he is one of our few lefties. I think maybe the only lefty, depending on how the active roster went out. Speaking of the active roster, Landon Root made the final rotation spot, and Hayden Birdsong's in the bullpen, and Kyle Harrison and Sean Jelly are in Sacramento, and Dave Yard got DFA'd. So a lot of great moves in my opinion. If you have Jelly and Harrison as guys in Sacramento and Birdsong in your bullpen, I think that sets up perfect for pitching depth. Obviously, we don't have any immaculate, amazing pitchers besides Webb, but everyone else can kind of contribute, and then you have depth on top of that. Like, let's say that an injury happens that's not season-ending, because fingers crossed, if we can avoid any season-ending injuries, we have a chance at making the playoffs and going further. If we have an injury that will put a guy out for a month or two, you can plop Harrison in there or Birdsong into the rotation, bring up Jelly or Harrison for the bullpen, and you're just fine. It will hurt us, but it won't be that bad because we're not going to be struggling to even get innings out of guys, because that's what happened last year and the year prior was we were just digging for innings. So if we can have guys filling that spot, I think we'll be just fine. And we got Keaton Wynn and Tristan Beck who can also be brought up and fill in those slots. I think the Giants pitching has a lot more depth than people realize, and we can be a lot better than people expect. So that's great to see, and that'll do it for today's recap. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time for a new SF at Giants Recap video.